what's this, like key of G or something?
Yes, G.
Go on then.
Are we actually going to do the show? Are we actually going to do the show, or are we just going to play guitar? I say we just play guitar all evening. What do you reckon?
I don't know. I'm keeping my head low because I've literally watched like one show in like 3 years. So.
Well, that's okay because that's the amount that I've watched as well.
Is it? All right. You've been on them. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, I've been on them, but actually watching them back is much different. Anyway, guys, that was a rendition of Wish You Were Here, because we wish that all you guys were watching us right now. This is the Retro Unlim Live pre-show for Retro Unlim Live 54. Yes, number 54 already. Jeez. How long have we been going with this? It's been 3-4 years now. And tonight, it's going to be the biggest of the lot. This is going to be a right blockbuster. Going back to the early days when we used to have 5-6 hour long streams. This is only the pre-show. This is only the beginning, ladies and gentlemen, of the biggest show in the history of Retro Unlim Live. Tonight, half past 8, Madison Square Gardens, Hulk Hogan. Retro Unlim Live, the actual show. But now, at the moment, we have Mr. Railslave, indie game developer extraordinaire. Hello.
Hi there. Thanks.
How's the game dev going?
I don't know. I've officially kind of like disassociated myself from the latest game. That's part of my process. Like I've literally I've left it on the doorstep to die now. It's like, you know, it comes out on the 2nd of December. So yeah, I don't know.
Excellent. And is that
literally
available?
dying on the doorstep. Like.
Is that available on Steam? Where can we buy this?
Yeah, it's on Steam. Yeah. So yeah. Kind of a weird thing, but I'm stepping into a bit of a trap though, you know. I've like, you know, they know I'm coming this time.
All right, this is your 4th or 5th game though, isn't it?
6th game this is.
6th. Well, what's one game between friends?
Yeah.
You've come a long way, I've got to say, since those heady days developing NPPD Rush. How long ago was that? Maybe 2-3 years ago.
I think it's about 3 years ago. It's like a different lifetime, wasn't it? Like.
Yeah. Hey, remember that? Remember that interview we did on the Retro Unlim channel? And I was absolutely full of a cold.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, some of the yeah, it was just so delusional back then as well. Like I remember some of the early videos I did, you know, just as I met you, kind of thing, and just it's gonna take over the world and stuff. It's like, nah.
And it did. It took over Steam, didn't it? So at one point, it
kind of destroyed Steam, I think. But I mean, if you're going to take over the world, you either make it a better place or you destroy it. So, you know, at least it's not in the middle.
You did both. You did both with NPPD Rush, because the first version, everybody hated it, but then the second version, everybody loved it. But the thing is, the trolls latched onto it and still thought it was that old, slightly more buggy game, yet you'd gone out there and actually redeveloped the game, so it was bug-free and it worked perfectly, but they were still complaining because people online said it was rubbish, so it must be rubbish.
It could still be better. I mean, looking back at things, you know, I've obviously like learned a lot more and stuff, and I do have plans to remake it again. You know, I have tried to do that the past year, and I've tried to reboot it again. It's like kind of like an annual thing where I remake it. I just feel bad, like it's like, you know, it's mad though. You know, it's gone alright. You know.
I think that's the thing that video game developers and artists in general do. They keep going back to the first thing that they did, trying to improve it. It's kind of a meme online that people go back to the early artwork and try and improve it to show how far they've come. So I guess that's the same thing that you're doing here, isn't it? Just to test how far you've developed over the years.
Yeah, you can't really sort of like on the internet and stuff, you can't really like erase the past. So you kind of try and creep back there and adjust a couple of things. But I'm not going to rush to do it, you know. Like, but one day they might turn on the games and they might all be completely different, you know. I might just upload like Skyrim or something. No, not Skyrim. The Crisis engine into everything, you know. I don't know, just change it all. But yeah, I don't know. So,
can you develop
it's been
for the Crisis?
interesting. Yeah, I think it's been quite interesting as well. And I think for me, the most interesting thing is just starting out thinking, oh, I want to make something like Hotline Miami or like a retro styled game, and then actually being pushed in certain directions by the feedback, and then actually getting quite a strong kind of like sense of what Rail Slave Games is through negative feedback as well. You know, it's like forced me into a corner sometimes, and I've actually become something, you know, like, you know what I mean? Like a style. There's a definite style, which is not like apologetic or anything. But, you know, I
think you've got to have a. Go on. Sorry.
If I start apologizing, I'll never stop.
Yeah,
so.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. You've got to have a thick skin, I think, or you've got to develop one to be a video game developer because everybody's a critic. Everybody who jumps on Steam, if you look at those comments and ratings for your games, they all either absolutely love it or absolutely hate it. They're always somewhere in the middle. And
yeah, I kind of feel bad for like the No Man's Sky situation. I don't know if you guys are like aware of what happened with that, with No Man's Sky.
Well, I believe you've said to me in the past that you were really, really looking forward to the No Man's Sky game because Selfie Sisters of the Amniotic Lens, which is was it your third game? I think it was, or second game. Third game.
Yeah.
And that was heavily based on that concept, I believe, where you're flying through space and you can find people's bottles that they leave messages. It's basically a social networking game, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, kind of sort of thing. But yeah, it's weird with No Man's Sky because it's sort of like it promised all this stuff, and then it was only made by like a handful of people, and when it came out, it didn't deliver on all those things. But I just think I think they tried too hard to make it like a game kind of thing, you know. It was better when it was more like Selfie, you know. You can name things. Well, you can't name things in Selfie, but you know, more of like a social thing. But then I think the pressure of them being with Sony and stuff like that, they made it into more of a game, and it was just like a very like watered down version of a couple of different genres and stuff. But yeah, it's really sad, like because they're a British developer as well, so you know, I'm really so I've been watching them for a while, like, but it's just really sad because they've been completely destroyed and demonized, and like they've had like kind of not lawsuits, they've had like advertising standards onto them for like false advertising. They've just been completely destroyed. Sorry to lower the tone. I was just going to mention about like you know, if the developer like hangs himself or something, you know, they'd be quite happy. But yeah, fun for all the family. Sorry.
Retro Unlim Live is a family show, not.
Yeah.
Well, we're still before the watershed, Mr. Railslave.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. We're still before the watershed.
So we've got to keep our tops on, is it?
Well, you can take it off if you wish, because I'm sure we'll get loads more viewers. It's happened in the past.
Keep the iron brew under the table.
Iron brew. Oh, here's a story. I bought, right, this is true, at my local boot sale, there's a guy who used to run a pub, and he sells off all his old pub stock. So this includes placemats. So Iron Brew placemats were available, and I went and bought some for 50 pence. Now, the idea behind these was I was going to give them out to people at Play Expo, but nobody turned up at Play Expo. You
should like sign them or something, or get you know, get some people from the crew to sign them. You know, without mentioning any. I mean, I don't want to mention any names or anything, but. Yeah.
Well, we do have certain Iron Brew fans among us on Retro Unlim Live. Yeah. Was that a strategic cough there, Mr. Railslave?
No, I'm actually quite ill. I've never been so ill in my life for some reason. It's like just started with like a headache, and then I got like more and more ill, and I've got like a bit of like phlegm on the lungs sort of thing.
It's the game dev stuff, isn't it? It's because your game is, it's imminent. It's going to be released within the next week or so.
Yeah, it's quite stressful really, because I got this going on, you know, which is kind of a bit detached from it because I can't afford to get depressed because I'm also trying out to be a firefighter as well.
All right.
About a week later, so I'm like, oh no, I've got to keep my mood kind of like, you know, I've got to keep fit and stuff like that. So I'm like, you know, and then I got ill. But yeah, it should be quite interesting. Kind of like a
Well, in a way, the tables are turned if you're ill, because last time I was ill.
Yeah,
Who's got the last laugh now? Harryak, that's who.
you have a bit of a man flu thing going on. I think that cough was a bit strategic.
Yes, definitely.
Right.
So can you give us a bit of a preview of your game?
What, you mean just playing or just like
No, just talk about it, maybe. Just like you did last time.
Yeah, definitely. If I can remember it. Like I was only making it a week ago. I can't even, I've just completely... It's kind of weird. It's kind of building on what the other games were in a way. It's just really like... It's just a collection of experiences and stuff I've had in my life and maybe stuff from the last year and all. And they make up the whole thing. So it's kind of like some stuff my friends and me have been researching into, like metaphysics, and I don't know, it's really weird. Like some of the, like my friend's really into this whole oh god.
Oh, have we gone down the rabbit hole now?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but yeah, well, basically, like you play these kind of like weird angel things, and they come to the planet kind of thing, and they got to help these people to find their frequencies. There's like the frequencies kind of like an human soul kind of thing. Like everyone's lost their frequency, you know, their kind of soul or whatever. And the way you help them is you got to find these old cassette tapes, which are bootleg recordings of everyone's frequency, which is said to have like been tied to like a certain star in the sky. So they were recorded, and you've got to go around. You've got to raise the money to buy the cassettes, and then take the cassettes to the right people. They're color coded. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like a fetch quest game, like Dizzy. You know, getting back on the retro end. It is actually a really retroly inspired thing, like Dizzy and Simon's Quest as well is a big inspiration. I haven't really played a lot of Simon's Quest, but I just like the whole town hub thing, you know?
Yes, yeah.
And just the look of it, and yeah.
Have you seen Curse of Isius?
No, I don't think I have. No.
That's a little bit like Simon's Quest, I think, from my experience. It's very, very...
Is it a NES game?
It's an indie game, and it's very much in the Castlevania style. Very, very much draws from it.
There's a lot of those games out, like Metroidvania kind of games. But my one's actually called a coming-of-age-vania, because it was kind of... a lot of the characters in the game are based on people that I actually know. Like I've got one of my friends, kind of like a bit of a conspiracy nut, and he makes a cameo. There's this militant vegan punk who I kind of know, and she makes a cameo as well. So literally, if you're not a vegan, you're going to hell kind of thing. One of those sort of people. Like
really,
which is quite hard work, you know. Especially when I was kind of like really deep into being like a Christian, and I met her, and then it was like a bit of like, that's not going to work anymore. That friendship. So it's a bit standoffish. But,
so yeah, Christianity and veganism don't go hand in hand, do they?
Oh no, definitely not. Because both trying to like save the world, but in different ways. So yeah, but there's her, and then there's kind of like this. There's like this one humorous kind of character. He's kind of given up everything in his small town. He's like a music fan, and he's moved to the city because he wants to be where all the bright lights are and where all the goth bands, you know what I mean? Like where all the stuff is, and he goes there in all his country get-up clothes and stuff, and he doesn't meet the dress code, so they won't let him into the club, kind of thing. So he's really depressed and like a bit suicidal and stuff because he's given everything up because he really loves the music, and he's like, you know, it really spoke to him on a deep level. And when he turned up there, they were more concerned about what he was wearing than where his heart was. Mm-hmm. So you've got to kind of like help him out as well. Like it's just a very, you know, just a little collection of people. It's not like a massive game. It's just a little weird little vignette thing. It's a collection of people in weird situations, and you help them kind of thing. And then there's kind of a bit of a twist at the end then. You know? Okay,
well, that's a tradition of Rail Slave games, isn't it? To have a big twist at the end, from my experience. The ones I've completed anyway.
Yeah, it's kind of, I mean, without spoiling the twist, it's not like a major thing, but, well, basically, I mean, your angels kind of thing, you know, and these people, like, you know, like people these days, like, not many people speak about, like, the afterlife or heaven or anything like that, you know, it doesn't really, it's not really important to people anymore, which is fair enough, but it's kind of like your characters are aware of that as well, and for you to survive, you need people to believe in you, kind of thing. So So you're helping them, but there might be like an agenda kind of thing going on. But it's quite weird. I mean, in a retro way, there's a lot of like cassettes used in the game, and I actually use the loading sound of a Spectrum game as well. I can't remember which game it is.
Oh, no.
That's part of the music.
How can you use a Spectrum game? You should have used Amstrad CPC.
I know, I've really gone.
You charlatan.
I know, I've gone into the Commodore 64 art scene. I'm using Spectrum sounds. I've completely, like, betrayed the Amstrad. Which, terrible, isn't it? It's really bad. Especially some of my comments on Twitter about the Amstrad. They're unforgivable.
Well, some people haven't really liked your Amstrad CPC inspired games, from my experience. Now, I'm thinking in particular of Snowflake Tattoo, which I think is possibly my favorite Railslave game. And not just because of the fact I could complete it. I really enjoyed the aesthetic because it did remind me of those Amsoft games. Those, well, I wouldn't say they're awful. They're very idiosyncratic, and they have a certain charm to them. And
yeah. Oh, yeah, I love the Amsoft
oh, yeah.
games, yeah.
We talk about this every time we chat, don't we, about the old Amstrad games?
Yeah, and it's nice because we all kind of had the same games as well, like Rolling in the Caves, Rolling on Ropes. There's a couple of people that actually had a few different ones to me, so it makes me wonder how many there were, but Harrier Attack and
well, was it the 8-pack that always had the same games, or the 12-pack? But go on.
All right, there was actually a 12-pack as well, was there?
Oh, was there?
I'm not sure which one I had, but I know that there were games that I didn't have.
Right. Well, there's tons of Amsoft games that were released. Yeah, that was part of the 12-pack. There were tons of Amsoft games that were released not as part of the 12-pack. And let me tell you, they're all equally awful. If you go digging, there's some absolutely terrible games out there. Stuff like Fukung in Las Vegas. Well, I was going to say Quackerjack. Quackerjack.
That sounds right. I mean, I suppose, but to someone somewhere, they're special games, about their childhood kind of thing.
It.
So they,
I think we're big enough.
They'd have a prize place in somebody's in someone's collection.
Yeah, I think we're big enough, man enough to admit that they're not great games.
Been invaded.
Oh yeah, I was just going to say. It's like outnumbered. Yeah, so I think we're man enough to admit that they're not great games, but they had a big impact on us. And I think that's the reason why it's a bit of a Marmite company, Railslave Games. Because of that.
The thing people don't see as well, I mean, they look at like the graphics and the music and maybe the programming, but no one ever like talks about like the atmosphere. And I think a lot of those old games, they all had atmosphere. Like they were really thick with atmosphere. Like, I mean, I don't know if it was like on the part of the players, the young kids, but like the Sultan's Maze, that was a really scary game. And Rolling in the Caves as well. That used to be quite an atmospheric game to me.
Oh yeah, definitely. A 5 or 6 year old.
Just the combination of like the music and just the whole thing, the whole package. They're quite atmospheric, I thought. For no good reason, but
I thought, even though Roland on the Ropes was a better game in general, Roland in the Caves had more of an atmosphere. I don't know if it's because it was darker or because it was more frantic that this vulture or whatever it was, this pterodactyl, was hanging around and it could come and swoop down and pick you up at any time. And that's probably it.
Yeah, I never actually completed that, but I definitely played that a lot. It was so hard, wasn't it?
Well, it was easy and hard because one day you might come to it and complete it within 2 minutes. But then other days you'll sit there for an hour and say, why can't I do this? I did it in 5 minutes yesterday. But there was a guy on YouTube. I posted a video of me attempting to complete Roland in the Caves. And he said, I played this for 2 minutes and I could complete it. Yes, he didn't quite grasp the concept of Harriac. He's not very good at video games, ladies and gentlemen.
What, that guy? Oh, Harriac, sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, yeah, Harriac.
The chaos going on. Oh, pardon me.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the Retro Unlim Live pre-show. This is a little bit of a chat before we go into the main course tonight, which is going to be about 90s video game TV shows, ladies and gentlemen. So join us from 8:30 for that. But at the moment, we have Mr. Railslave Games, indie game developer extraordinaire and member of the KISS game label. So what have you got to say about Kiss? What dirt have you to dish on them? What
I'm trying to rebrand myself as like the pale horse of the indie apocalypse, you know, because that's quite a big term these days, you know. I mean, I don't think anyone really knows what that means, but they're kind of going on about like a second video game crash, and you know, I want to be like, I want to take the bullet for the team kind of thing, you know. So
I think you've taken far too many bullets already, Mr. Railslayer.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I've got this new job coming up, so you know, it's not going to kill me, you know. Everyone thinks, yeah, I don't know.
So you're going to go from developing video games to fighting fires. What's the difference? Nothing, because you're fighting trolls online.
Weird, yeah, it's kind of weird, really, because Eurus Chasm 2, which is like the last thing I made about a year ago now, which is quite strange to me. I usually I'm pumping these things out, kind of thing. But there was like a firefighting section in that where you had to, you know.
Well,
you have to kind of like stop these fires from like devouring the trees and stuff. So it's kind of weird. Like I was making that and I was running a lot at the time, trying to get fit and stuff, and running past the fire station and got this idea. Oh, why don't I just apply there, you know, and put my health to good use, trying to help other people.
The good thing about if you're a firefighter is that you get to retire at the age of 50, I think, or something like that. Because I know a few firefighters and they retired early. The swines.
All right. Yeah, it's actually like a retained service thing, you know, like an RDS or something. So it's like part-time, so I can still do like this and do that. So.
Well, that's good. It's great that you found something that you're good at, we could say. Although, are you any good at it? Are you any good at it?
We'll see when I've got to get up like a 60-foot ladder, basically, because I'm not good at heights at all. So I've literally got to have like a physical test, and that's part of the test is going up a ladder. So a bit worried about that. The rest of it should be okay.
You'll probably stand there thinking, this would have been much easier in a video game. How does Fireman Sam do this every week? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he doesn't. He takes in his stride, doesn't he?
Do you have to be a certain height to be a firefighter?
No, I don't think so anymore. But I know these days you've got to be like fully clean shaven and no sideburns and like pretty, pretty strict about stuff like that.
How are you going to cope with that?
I'm just going to have to. But I mean, you've got to keep fit as well. So it's not just you got to be fit enough, but they've got like you're constantly going in to have like a medical and see where you are. So that's kind of yeah, that's why I've sort of detached myself from this launch as well, because I can't afford to get like things go wrong, which, you know, I mean they might do, you know, they usually do, but I can't afford to get like depressed or anything or start thinking about it too much. You know? It's
probably good to have other things.
I've got like literally a game on like the biggest platform in the world coming out in a week, but I'm just, you know.
Oh well, you've got to have something to take your mind away from it, because I mean, even the biggest internet celebrities, such as yourself, do have to take time out at some point and completely detach. And that would be a great opportunity to go and save people's lives.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, like all the stuff that I get up to or stuff that happens throughout the months, it always ends up coming out in some artistic way. That's the way I like express things. So the next game will definitely, actually, I might even have a bit of a UK retro gaming exclusive to disclose. Like I've been talking to a former quite a big YouTuber about doing the official version of his game.
Ah, right.
Kind of, which you might have caught wind of or seen the exchanges. But
yes.
But just a bit of a spoiler, my plan is to make a series of mini games for this guy, and one of them is going to be based on Thomas the Tank Engine, the Amstrad game. I'm really excited about that. I'm literally going to remake that, because this person is well known for doing like simulator games, like Farm Simulator and Deer Hunter Simulator and stuff like that. So yeah, if that works out, if we can make like a Kickstarter or something, I mean, there's probably a really good chance of getting some teletext in there as well, you know. It would
teletext, yes. Yeah.
Definitely be the right game for that.
That's the second Retro Unlim Live in a row that we've mentioned teletext. Because when we had Big Boy Barry on from Games World last week, go and look it up. When we had him on, he mentioned that he got his start in the video games TV industry. Bit of a plug for later on there. He got his start by applying for something on teletext, which I never knew about him, and he totally surprised me. Oh, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I've got to apologize for my audio last week. if anybody did tune in and wondered why I sounded like a zombie, well, it was Hangout's fault. We're experiencing some glitches with it at the moment, but we're going to fight through. We're going to fight through. Hopefully my audio is fine tonight. Let me know if it isn't. And that's one of the purposes of this pre-show. And I've gone off track a little bit here, so I'm going to bring it back to Railslave Games a little bit.
Yeah, so hopefully, I mean, so that game with that person, that YouTube celebrity, I mean, he's kind of like a fallen YouTube celebrity. Like, he could have had the world as his oyster kind of thing. I don't know if I should mention who it was.
Well, he was quite large. At one point...
Gaming Mill?
Yeah, I think most people on here would know who Gaming Mill is. And at one point in the past, he knows it as well. Like, he's but I kind of find that's the whole reason I want to do it. It's kind of, I can see I don't know if it's quite a traumatic thing to him that it's kind of fallen away a little bit, but I find that quite humorous, and that's going to like fuel the game. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm in not a similar situation, but I'm a bit of a fallen and oh no!
Yeah, but just together, just have a bit of fun with it, and just kind of assume that everyone on Steam knows who he is and just act like that.
No, man,
that's my plan.
You're not a fallen star. You're right up there at the top. You're at the peak of your video game creating abilities, sir.
I know, with all my 60 subs on Twitter, it's like celebrity subs.
Well, you only just restarted your Twitter, didn't you? And it's quite difficult to build it up.
Sort of. I did kind of quit that.
Yeah, it's a long and gradual process to build up your Twitter following.
Yeah, but I'm really excited. I mean, it's going to be like I definitely need the cash to make it. Like, as much as I'd want to do it for nothing, I do need some money to live on and stuff. But
okay, so
that's definitely the first idea. Is going to be something to do with like the Thomas game on the Amstrad, which I actually really liked when I was a kid.
Oh, did you? Oh, this is one of those games, isn't it, that everybody hates that you might like? Why did you like it?
I know, it's just really cool, It just had like the original music before there was actually another option, and I don't know, it's just like a nice chilled out game, It wasn't too frantic. You just got I don't even know what you had to do. You just had to get your trains up the tracks and stuff. But it was, I don't know, it's just cool.
Wasn't it really difficult though?
Actually, shouldn't have liked it because I would have been about 13 or 14 when I had that, and there's no reason why I should be playing that.
Oh, well, there's nothing
right.
wrong.
It's just a game. But I mean, I just think it would just, I'm not like an amazing programmer or anything, but I think it would just be a nice little challenge to clone that. I'm not really a cloning kind of person. I like originality, but I just think just as an exercise, it would be good for this game just to take a couple of established things and kind of make quite solid things for Gaming Mill. Because I know, like, I'm perfectly okay with like full retro spec, but he wants like the widescreen spectacular thing going on, so I'm a bit worried about that. Because I don't think he realizes how retro I'm willing to go.
Teletext. Well, he's aware of teletext. He knows what it is.
Yeah, he'd want like a widescreen thing, which wasn't the original resolution or something. So, or something like that. Yeah, that could be really cool. Like, I was like I said, I'd kind of detached myself from games, but that is like a plan, and
okay,
he's as well.
So what would be in the
I'm not
Kickstarter?
sure if he's intentionally funny or if I'm kind of like, he might be like in a really bad way, but I'm just laughing at it kind of thing. So,
I don't think you should worry about that, because I do believe it is a character that guy plays.
Went on the poll last night, apparently. So.
Oh, really? Well,
yeah.
He mentioned that in his video. You mean his character went on the poll? Have you ever done that? Have you ever gone up to a lady in a bar and said, "Hello there, I'm Railslave"? Because I've definitely said, "Hi, I'm Hurriak."
Have you? All right. Oh, I'm a big YouTuber or whatever.
Well, I'll leave that up to the audience whether I did or didn't do that.
I actually find you and Gaming Mill are actually quite similar in a way. Like,
yeah,
I mean, you're not the same person, but it's kind of, there's a bit of a, I don't know, from the beginning, I kind of got you both sort of a bit confused. And also, I don't like to break your character either. And with Gaming Mill, he's trying to have a serious conversation with me about life and stuff, and I just keep reminding him that he's Gaming Mill. And I think it gets on his nerves a bit, because he's like, "No, I'm not. I'm actually a serious person. I'm 40-odd. I can program in assembly." And I'm like, "Oh, you big kidder, Gaming Mill."
Speaking of big gaming YouTubers, here I am.
Oh, it's SGR, Scott's Game Reviews. How are you doing?
Hello. Yeah, not to be confused with Slope's Game Room.
Yes, of course. So, Scott, have you met
big hitters?
Rail Slave yet?
Yes, I have. Yeah, I played
very briefly in the past.
Yeah, I played the what was it, Neon Milk of whatever's.
I think it's time for a sharp exit.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
This could get confrontational now. So,
Yeah.
Scott, how are you this evening?
Yeah, I'm fine. Is everything working? Sound okay?
Yes, perfectly fine. How's my audio?
Yeah, fine.
Well,
Hey, Harry, I'm going to have to jump off a minute, okay?
Okay.
So we got some sort of guests turn up.
Cheers, and
this
thank
was
you.
like an impromptu kind of thing on it, so I didn't really
That's okay. Cheers. Thank you for joining us and chatting a bit about your game. I very much look forward to it, and I will definitely play
yeah,
it.
it's out on the 2nd on Steam. I don't even know why I'm doing this, like this whole big pro thing, but yeah, it's called Ore. It's out on the 2nd of December on Steam. Yeah, I've forgotten about it already, so I don't know.
Well, I haven't. And ladies and gentlemen out there in Retro Unlim Live land will definitely not forget to go and buy it. Thank you.
Okay, guys.
Good night.
See you soon.
See you.
Bye.
Sayonara. And that was Rail Slave Games. And just in time, one leaves, one arrives.
Yeah, back with my shitty webcam. I thought I got rid of this thing, but it looks like it's come back.
Looks fine to me.
It's like a horror movie.
When was the last time you were on? It's been a long time, it feels like.
About 4 or 5 months ago.
4 or 5 years ago. What are the drawings? What are the drawings on your wall or
The
your
one
artwork?
directly behind my head, Steve gave me, and that was a drawing from Mark from Classic Game Room. And then the other bits were from Fallout 4, but they've progressively fallen off the wall, and I can't be asked to put them back up. And that's my lithograph poster of The Last of Us, which, ironically, I haven't finished ever playing it. I've started it multiple times, but I've never finished it.
Where's the Batman poster gone?
It's over here. It's next to my shelf.
All right, you're just in a different direction. Oh, by the way, Kenshiro Online is here. He says, hello, everybody. Hi, Kenshiro.
Hello, Kenshiro.
Hello. This is a word, especially for you, Mr. Kenshiro.
Kenshiro Online.
We love you, Kenshiro Online. Yeah. So, Scott, what have you been doing this week?
Working mostly. I finally got my Devil's Third review out, which was great. Not too sure anyone really saw my side of the bargain because that game's just been, trashed on. But I thought the game was fine. It's one of those things that every year comes by. There's that game, the one that all the internet hates. And I played it myself and I thought, well, it's not amazing, but it's not fucking terrible. It's not broken. A bad game in my eyes is one that cannot be played. But,
what physically can't be played?
Yeah, there's some games like, well, a fine example is watching Ashen's live show he did for, I think it was some sort of gaming expo, where he showed games that were actually broken, that do not work. So, yeah, it was fun to review that game. But I don't know what to do next. How
did people react to the video?
Got a few comments, not as many as the last few videos. So I don't know what's going on with YouTube recently. It seems to be either I'm making content no one wants to watch, or it's not being put in people's subscription boxes. I don't know.
Well, how is the channel in general going?
Well, I just passed 900 subscribers.
Ah, you're not far off 1,000 then now.
Yeah.
We should have a party when you get there.
No, it was pretty cool though, because I don't consider myself a big YouTuber or anything like that. And it's still kind of weird that quite a lot of people have subscribed to watch my shite. But yeah, it's humbling. It's nice.
Well, it's no surprise at all, Scott, because you're one of the best video game reviewers out there on the web. And I must say, your style has developed over the years to a point where you're better than the rest. My man, you're the best. You're the best.
Fuck off.
Yeah, I'm buttering you up here. Please don't leave my stream. Don't leave me alone.
This is why I don't come on anymore. You inflate my ego. I don't like it.
Oh, you don't like people inflating your ego, do you? Well, the main show tonight, ladies and gentlemen, begins at 8:30. We're here in the pre-show, maybe for another half hour or so, because I've got to go and eat. But then we'll be back on with the main show, and that's going to be related to video game TV shows here in the United Kingdom, particularly in the 1990s. Now, Scott, let's do a bit of a preview and talk a little bit about Games Master, because I know you're somewhat of a fan of these video game TV shows. Is that right?
I loved them as a kid, but they are really fucking hard to watch now. You do, but there is an enjoyment of going back and watching, you know, and you find, like, especially Games Master, especially after, say, the third series, not a lot of games are being talked about. It's a lot of segments that mean nothing. And then maybe a competition at the end, or, well, the reviews, of course, and cheats. But it got to the point where the game sort of took a back step in that show, which was kind of odd.
I think with Games Master and with all those games TV shows in general, it was just, for me, the novelty of actually having game shows that were related to games, to see games on television. And even if they were crap, I mean, a lot of Games World was absolute crap. It was, even by admission of some of the people who made it, probably. But because it was on every night of the week, and we were 5-6-year-old kids obsessed with video games. Oh, it's video games. I've got to sit here and watch this. I've got to sit here and watch Jess in a rubber dress. Well, that's not hard to persuade somebody to do, though, is it?
Another thing as well, that was back before the internet, before all of this stuff. So the only way you could actually see games in motion was to watch these shows, because all you had was magazines and screenshots can only tell you so much until you see the game in motion. That's when you can, well, you can see if you want to play that game.
Looking back on some of these shows, they're only like 2 or 3 minute clips of the game where, like, they do the challenge.
Yeah.
So, as a kid, they felt like so much longer because you were new to these games. You'd never seen them before. It felt like that they were full 15-minute Let's Plays, which they weren't.
No.
I mean, I've gone back and watched some of these and thought, oh, why did I cream over some of these things? These games, for a start, they're awful. Secondly, the people playing them are awful, and they can't even get past the first level. And thirdly, this game is totally misrepresented because you only get, like, the first level of the game.
Yeah.
Not representative of the whole game. So, like with the Terminator on the Mega Drive, the first level is nothing like the rest of the game. It's flipping difficult.
And that first level is fucking ridiculous hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't stop me getting the game, though.
Well, I had it as a kid, and all I can remember is that first level because it was so ridiculously hard. I never got past it as a kid. I think I may have done once, but it doesn't give it a nice impression at all. The game is pretty good. It's decent. But man, that first level was brutal.
I have a videotape that Burp Reynolds, Burp39R on YouTube, has sent me, and it's a Virgin promo tape. It lasts about 15 minutes, I think, the runtime. And it's just a load of promos for Virgin games. The Terminator is on there. The Terminator's on there. Sorry. I actually might upload this because I have the footage somewhere, and it's very interesting. I don't think anybody's uploaded it yet. Sorry, you were going to say something.
Yeah, I have a tape as well of Sega TV when they were promoting the Sega CD in the UK, the Mega CD. And I thought, oh, I wonder if anyone's uploaded it. I went on YouTube, and yeah, it's been uploaded like 15 times.
Well, actually, probably somebody's uploaded that promo since I last looked 3 years ago. Well, anyway, speaking about video game TV shows and bringing us more up to date on gaming TV shows, Kenshiro Online. Hello there, Kenshiro. How are you doing? He says, any thoughts on Going 8-bit?
Never watched it.
Well, neither have I. I think it's got Dara O'Brien at the helm, but I've still not seen it, and I'm going to guess.
Is it really worth having a show on terrestrial? No, there was one. I can't remember on which channel, but it would play. It was like a video gaming channel, and it would play from like 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. I don't know if it's still going.
Oh, really?
And that was mostly done by the Gamer Sutra guys and stuff like that. But no, I don't think there's any worth having a gaming channel on or gaming TV show anymore, because it's all moved to online. If you want to find game footage of whatever game you want, you find it online now.
Well, that
seems to be odd that, because gaming is still a new medium in respect to the other
Oh,
mediums such as music and movies. So
sorry.
gaming's moved better with the times. So mostly the audience who play games and also use the internet. So they sort of went hand in hand in that respect.
Yeah. I will agree with you on that, but there is something just so nostalgic and fun about watching something on television, because I'm finding more these days that even though I don't really watch television per se, I download videos from YouTube or something, or iPlayer or something, and then put them on a memory stick to watch on my television, because I can't get away from that, sat in a chair in front of a computer monitor.
You might as well get a Chromecast or something and just use your phone to throw it over to the TV.
I will eventually.
Yeah.
I've got to upgrade. I mean, I'm still using teletext, for goodness sake.
Yeah. I just use the Xbox if I'm just idly watching YouTube and just throw it onto there.
Yeah, I use the Xbox or PS3.
Yeah.
And I've done quite a lot of YouTube streaming on my PS3 recently, which is great because I can go through all of my watch later list. However, the bad thing about that is I can't really leave any comments because I don't think you can.
I don't know if you can.
Not on PS3 anyway. But I have been doing a lot of that.
It's really awkward to do. Yeah.
Probably with the controller. So Dan Ibbotson has joined us. He says, "Yo, yo, yo, what's up, guys?" I think Dan's going to be with us later tonight for the real show. Yeah, for the real show, which begins at 8:30. Now, should we tease what's going to happen tonight? We've hopefully got some guests. We're not going to say who they are in case they don't turn up, because we've been burned with this in the past by naming particular people. But we're hoping to have some people who are related to 90s video game TV shows, people who participated in them, and people who were fans of them.
And people were ripped on 20 years later for a couple of videos.
I
rewatched those videos recently, and I don't know if you can tell. I think you can just slightly. That I was slightly inebriated while making those videos. I may have been partaking in some of the green stuff because I sounded incredibly stoned while doing those videos.
Well, that's the best way to do it. Get stoned, listen to me playing Pink Floyd, and then play video games.
Yeah, they were a lot of fun. I did enjoy the comments, especially some that really didn't get the joke.
Oh well, YouTube is full of people who just don't get the joke. In fact, YouTube could change the name to YouTube. We don't get the joke. There is actually a joke in the YouTube title, isn't it? Because YouTube is not exactly a term of endearment in Scotland. So, what are you doing there, you tube?
Okay.
I wonder if that's where it came from. I always say this, but it probably isn't, because they're American, aren't they? The guys who founded it. And awkward silence.
No, sorry, I keep getting tagged on the stuff. It's doing my fucking nutting. Oh, you want to be added to this group? You want to be added to this group? No, fuck. Quickly followed by off.
This is a public service announcement on behalf of Scott SGR. Don't tag him in stuff. He gets annoyed.
Well, I don't mind partaking, but when you force me to join your group that I don't really give two shits about, then don't bother.
Yeah, that is annoying. That is annoying. But Scott, I have to ask you, what has been your favorite video game TV show of all time?
Oh, probably Bits.
Oh, really? Is there a particular reason for this? Can we guess? Maybe.
There may be three very solid reasons why.
Or maybe two rather floppy reasons.
No, yeah, I had a massive crush on Emily Booth when I was a kid. And so her fronting that show was,
Fronting.
Whatever. She was probably the big turning point for me as a young adolescent.
A couple of big turning points.
Growing up. Yeah. So, yeah, probably Bits. I used to watch that quite a bit. And Games Master.
Well, actually, we're going to talk about this in the show itself, but I wonder how many girls enjoyed Bits. Was it aimed at lads, or was it aimed at both
I'm not too sure.
boys and girls?
I don't know if there's any episodes online, because wouldn't mind checking them out again and see if they hold up.
There's a guy called Dynamite Heady I believe, who's uploaded loads of old video game TV shows. Just head over to his channel. He's also uploaded, oh, what else? We've got Nightmares on there, The Crystal Maze. I think every single episode of Games Master, actually.
Yeah.
That's a bit of pre-show research for you, ladies and gentlemen. Go and find this dynamite heady guy, and maybe you will find out.
Right, I think bits didn't last that long. I think it only lasted maybe a year, maybe 2 years, because I remember they were talking about the new console war, which was the I don't think it was the Xbox. It was the PS2 and the GameCube, if I remember rightly. So it was around that sort of 2002, 2003 sort of era, if I remember rightly. I think that. Or they were talking about the next generation, and that was then at that time.
So post Dominic Diamond, really, then, if you don't count When Games Attack on Bravo, which was around about the same time, actually. I quite enjoyed When Games Attack, but when I attempted to go back and watch them all through, I only got about halfway before I became
watch that show.
Totally repetitive.
The only thing I used to watch on Bravo was Dog the Bounty Hunter and ECW. That's all I watched.
Dog the Bounty Hunter. Well, there were some interesting shows on Bravo. Gamepad. That's another video game related TV show with Violet Berlin. One day we'll have Violet Berlin on this show. Yeah, I bet you we will. I'll ask her. If she'll do it. Let's see if she's available now, shall we? And
personal friends on Twitter, are you? You can get blocked like you did with old DD.
Oh yeah. That's water under the bridge now. We're muckers. We're all muckers now, myself and Dominic. In fact, he's coming on later. No, ladies and gentlemen. He's not. Dominic Diamond's not going to be on tonight, but please do tune in and see who's going to be here.
Do you want to say why?
No, because I mentioned it about 5 times, but I can say that we have a celebrity in our midst right now. Mariah Carey is in the chat. She says, hiya. Hello, Mariah Carey.
Yes.
If I knew any of your songs, I'd quote them right now and say something witty, but I don't. All I Want for Christmas Is You, maybe?
Oh, I will. So when you sing, Mariah, why do you sound like a cat being tased? Oh,
well, Mariah. Also, why is it Mariah and not Maria? Is it just to be awkward? Is it? Is it?
Don't want to be included in the phone book.
Is it when you were born? The doctor asked your mother, "Oh, what's its name?" And she was supposed to say Maria, but she was just delivering at the time. But she went, Maria. Ah!
Oh, God.
Oh, dear. This is nothing to do with video game TV shows, is it?
No.
That's okay, because it wasn't supposed to. Supposed to be.
The best segue you could have done is, like, speaking of birth canals.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, 8:30 tonight. We have Retro Unlim Live, the actual show. This is the pre-show. Let's have a look at the comments here, shall we? I haven't looked at them yet tonight. I've read them out, but we haven't actually gone over to them. We've got... Yeah. Retro Unlim says, Mariah, join us at 8:30 for an Xmas sing-along. That might happen. Probably not.
Maybe not.
And then whatever Panini Football GFC said has been redacted. So never mind. Oh, well. Brilliant. So this pre-show is drawing to a natural close, and I'm going to go for something to eat. So, Scott, have you anything to say before we draw a close to this particular part of the show?
Yeah.
And go and prepare for the actual show, 8:30, Retro Unlim Live.
Okay, I have to say this. Big jobs. Moving on.
Big jobs? Is that anything to do with bits?
Yeah.
Hey, it's almost as if Dominic Diamond is in the room with us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We're channeling his spirit through every one of us. Right. I'm going to go and eat something. Perhaps Scott. Please join us again at 8:30 UK time. Well. Sorry for the people who are just joining us, but we are going to be back in about 40 minutes and we'll have the proper show. We'll get set up. We'll have tons and tons of guests, and the screen has gone blank. Everything has gone black. So this is a perfect opportunity for me to play you a song. And what should that song be? Panini Football GFC says Big Jugs Pottery in Stoke. What song should I play, Scott?
Liquid Filth.
How does that go? Liquid Filth. Liquid filth.
Pretty
Liquid
much,
filth.
yeah.
Liquid filth. Liquid filth. Liquid filth. That was nothing like it, was it? Because there's no guitar in the song Liquid Filth, is that?
It's very close.
Sounded more like Smoke on the Water. I've never played it before. What's this? Well, the closing song, I've got to say, is much better than the opening song tonight. Panini GFC says Liquid Fill.
No, you can put the agony out and be on later. Just end the stream, for God's sake.
No, I want to play guitar for a bit longer.
Oh, God.
No, actually, no, we're going to end the stream, ladies and gentlemen.
So
thank you
cringe.
for joining us for the pre-show, and thank you for putting up with us, but we'll be back very soon. Please tune in, or else we're sending Scott around. Good night. But not yet. Good night for now. Cheers.